Right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. So let's start our session. And this is day 3 demo. Actually, we started with the basic introduction part of DevOps. We have understood the overview of DevOps tools. Hope you can hear me. Please confirm, at least in the chat box, if you are able to hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you. So we started with basic understanding of what is DevOps and why the DevOps came into the picture. And in the next session, the day 2 session, we came through we came through the overview of the DevOps tools. And we have also understood the actual flow of DevOps. So how actually we are maintaining the source code. And once we have the source code available in the GitHub repository, how actually we are pulling the source code and uh, building up the source code and generating the artifact and all those things we have seen yesterday. If you see this, like yesterday, I have shown you one diagram. If you see this diagram, you can easily understand. I'll share this diagram in the chat in the group also. So this is the diagram that helps you understand the basic flow of DevOps. So we will be maintaining the source code in the GitHub repository. And once we have the source code available in the GitHub repository, we will be building the source code. So you know what is building the source code and all. Yesterday, in yesterday's session, I have explained very clearly. If anybody hasn't attended the yesterday session, please go through that and please watch that once. So Maven is a Java-based build tool, and by using Maven, we are going to build the source code, and the output of that will be the artifact. Okay, what is the output that is generated here is artifact will be generated. So artifact will be generated either in the form of jar, var, or AR. So we will discuss about all these different extensions when we discuss about the Maven tool in detail. So, but the output of the Maven, okay, once we apply Maven tool for building, we'll get the artifact, and then what we are doing is we will be converting the artifact into Docker image. Once we get the artifact, we will be converting the artifact into Docker image. So once we convert the artifact into Docker image, one second, yeah. Yeah, once we convert the artifact into Docker image, then only we can push this Docker image into the Kubernetes. So for this purpose, this is the actual flow. Usually we implement in the DevOps methodology as a part of CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. And you see there is a tool which we are using for the purpose of automation. And that tool is doing all the tasks. Like once we configure the job, and from the next time onwards, Jenkins will take care of all these things. It will pull the source code. It will apply the tool called Maven and builds the source code so that the artifact will be generated. Once the artifact is generated, and we'll be converting that artifact into Docker image. So how we are converting that artifact into Docker image? So that and all depends on the Docker file we are writing. So we need to learn how to write a Docker file. We need to understand what is Docker. Okay, all those things we need to. That's the reason why I have mentioned like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins. All these tools are the important tools that we need to focus as a part of DevOps. Okay. So this is the basic idea, basic flow that we need to understand before we start each and every tool. Okay, so today our agenda is like we will create an account in the AWS cloud. So then our next our agenda is like to learn the Linux commands. Okay, we will be learning the Linux commands. So why we are going to learn the basic Linux commands is, so we will be installing all the Docker, we will be installing all the DevOps tools in a Linux environment. Suppose let's take any of the tool like Jenkins is there. If we would like to install Jenkins, definitely we need some Linux commands for installing the Jenkins tool. Similarly, Docker also. We wanted to install, definitely we need Linux commands to install Docker. So whatever we do, and all these things we do in the Linux servers, most of the DevOps tools that we install and configure in the Linux servers only. So to do that in the Linux servers and to interact with the Linux servers, definitely we should aware of some Linux commands. With the help of Linux commands, we will be installing all of them. So let's go ahead and start. For now, I need a Linux server. Okay, instantly, if I want a Linux server to practice some Linux commands or to run some Linux commands, so my environment is in my laptop, in my personal machine, I have Windows operating system, but I want the Linux environment immediately. So for that, what I am doing is, I, I am going to the AWS cloud. Okay, I'm going to the AWS cloud and I will be launching a new server. I'll be launching a server with Linux environment and I will be connecting to the Linux server. Okay, you understood, right? So I need a Linux server now. I want a Linux server. There are two approaches here. If we want a Linux server, either we can install Linux operating system in our machine. Got it, right? So if I want a Linux server, I can install Linux environment in my machine. It's possible, right? It's possible to install dual operating systems in a machine. We can go through that. We need to install VMware. On top of VMware, we will install another operating system which we require. So that we can do. So, but the thing is, for now, I'm not following that approach. Anyhow, so the course that we are learning is AWS DevOps, right? So that's the reason why at least we should have some knowledge. Okay, we should gain some knowledge related to AWS, and that's the reason why we will be using the servers in the AWS cloud, and we will be connecting to the servers in the AWS cloud. Okay, so let's understand now. This is for the very first. I will provide you the steps. It is very easy to create an account in the AWS cloud. I will be providing you the steps how to create an account in the AWS. You see here, very first, I'm going to provide you the steps how to creating an account in the AWS. Okay, first we need to go to the website called aws.amazon.com. Please go to the website called aws.amazon.com, and there you will find an option. See here in the browser, what I'm giving, aws.amazon.com. This is the website I am providing. The search bar. This is how I am searching for this Amazon website. So you can find one option here like sign into the console. So by using this option, people can log in who already had their AWS accounts. They can log in by using this particular option. But suppose if we don't have any account in the AWS, we need to create a new account. For that, we can find an option like create a new account in the AWS, create a new account. You see here, I'm just I'm just clicking on signing into the console. Once I click on signing into the console, we can see here, this is how the page opens. And here we will be clicking on this particular one, sign in using root user email. Usually we will sign in by using a root user email, okay? So there is a difference between root user and IAM user. We will be discussing all those things in the further discussions. That is fine, but suppose what I am trying to say here is you need to find out an account, you need to find out an option for creating a new AWS account, right? That's the reason why we came here. We are going to a page called aws.amazon.com, and here you are able to see an option called create a new AWS account. Hope you got it right. How we are finding this option? You just go to the website like aws.amazon.com. Usually you will find an option called sign in. Even if you click on sign in or sign into the console, it will redirect to another page. It will redirect to the sign in page. And here you need to click on sign in using root user email. Okay. And you will be having two options here. For now, we are not using these two options. When we are going to use these two options, once after creating the account. Once after creating the account in the AWS, then we will be using any of these options. Okay. We'll discuss about this later, but you need to select this option for now. Create a new AWS account. Just click on create a new AWS account. And once you click on create a new AWS account, it will redirect to the page like this. And you need to provide the root user email address. And we need to provide the AWS account name. Okay. So that's how the very basic steps only. It's not a difficult thing. So let me show you here. First, you will go to this website. First, we will go to this website. There we will find an option called create an AWS account. You need to provide your email ID and password, existing email ID. Suppose if you had any Gmail ID, Google account and password. So you can provide those things, email address and the password. So you can set up your account name. So this can be your name or your company's name. Doesn't matter, but you need to provide the full contact information like your personal details, including your address and phone number. And once you provide these details, you will get two options actually to choose the account type. And you need to choose whether you wanted to create a personal account or business account. You mean professional account. So there you please go with personal account. It is just for a practicing purpose. That's the reason why please go with personal account only. Once you choose the account type as personal, then please enter the payment information. You need to enter the payment information like your credit card details or debit card details. For now, I'm already having many AWS accounts. That's the reason why I'm not creating. It's very easy. You please go ahead and follow the same procedure which I am mentioning here. I will be sharing this document with you in the group chat. Please go through this document and try to create an AWS account if anyone doesn't have AWS account. Okay. You see the sixth step here, you need to provide the credit card or debit card information. So once you provide all these details, your account will be created and AWS usually offers a free tier. Okay, once you provide the credit card or debit card details, and for the verification purpose, usually for the verification purpose, only 2 rupees. Okay, only 2 rupees will be deducted from your credit card or debit card, and that too for the purpose of verification only. Maybe after 24 hours, that that amount will also be refunded. Okay. So once everything is fine, your account verification, once your card details verification, everything is done, and you will be provided with a free tier account. Initially, you will be provided with a free tier account. For the free tier account, you don't need to provide any payment. Okay, you don't need to you don't need to provide you don't need to pay anything for the free tier. So initially, for the first 3 months, AWS will provide you the free tier only for few services, not for all the services. So whenever you use that service, it will show you whether it comes under the free tier or not. So if it comes under the free tier, you can use it. If it doesn't comes under the free tier, you need to pay. You need to, if you use that service, you will be charged. You will be charged. So that's the reason why. So for the first 3 months, you can use your account as a free tier account, and you need to look after what are all the services comes under free tier, all those things. Okay. So that's it. I think nothing much difficult here. You will be sending one verification code once after providing all the card details and all. You will be sending a verification code to your phone. And after that, it will ask you to choose the support plan. Please select the basic plan. Okay. Please select the basic plan. And that's it. Review your details and complete the setup. So once you provide all these details and you can able to sign into your account. Okay. Once your account is created, sign in again using your email ID and password. So these are the steps that you need to follow. And you can see here, I'm just showing you, this is how the page opens, where you need to provide your root user email address, AWS account name, all these things. So suppose you see here, I'm providing my root user email address like this. I'm providing my root user email address like this. This is my email ID. This is an existing email ID. I'm providing this. I'm already having an account with this. So you need to have an email ID if you want to create an account. AWS account name, you can provide this. If you want to provide your name, yes, you can provide your name. If I want to provide my name, I'll provide my name. Okay. So that's how we will be creating an AWS account. So please go ahead and verify your email address. You will be getting some verification code. Please provide that verification code here and verify. After that, you need to follow all the steps that I have mentioned here. Okay. So very simple. It's not a difficult one. You can create an account in the AWS. Once after creating an account in the AWS, we will sign in. Okay. Let's see how we are going to sign in into the AWS cloud. So the website that I told you is aws.amazon.com, aws.amazon.com. And I already had an account in the AWS. That's the reason why I'll be signing into the account directly. So which option we usually use here is root user email. Okay, we will talk about the IAM user. What is the difference between root user and IAM user later? But for now, I am trying to sign in using root user email ID. Usually, even when you create AWS account also, once after creating AWS accounts also, you will be signing through the root user email only. So this is my root user email that I'm using for my AWS account. Okay. I'm providing this email. I'm just clicking on next. The password that I am using, you need to provide the password that you are using for this. You have set up while creating the account. Please provide the password. Second. So I just provided the password that I have set up while creating the account. So this is how I can see the dashboard of AWS. So this is how I can see the dashboard of AWS. And if you want to view all the services, if you want to see the list of all services, just click on the services here, which you can see. And once the AWS dashboard opens, this is how once you log into the AWS, this is how the dashboard looks like. And you can see few things here. In the last, you can see your profile, your account, all those things, your security credentials, all those things. Okay, anyhow, we will go into all those details later when we go and discuss about AWS. For now, what I am trying to do is, I want some Linux server to connect and to practice some Linux commands. Okay. So directly, all these things we will be discussing. So if you don't know the basic part of this AWS cloud, if you don't know how to, what is actually the services, how we are going to interact with the services, and even if you are not familiar with the dashboard, no worries. Okay, when we discuss about the AWS cloud, that time we will discuss each and everything very clearly. But for now, I will be going through the service called EC2. Okay, so what I would like to say for now is, it is a collection of services. In AWS, once you log into the AWS cloud, it has some collection of services. It has many services. You see, once you click on the services, you can able to see the list of services. It is close to 250 plus services. Okay, close to 250 plus services are available in the AWS cloud. So we are not going to learn all the services, and I have mentioned like what are all the services that we will be learning, we'll be focusing in this particular course. So for now, I will be going through a service called EC2. Just see here, we have EC2. Okay, we have a service name called EC2. Just click on EC2. Otherwise, if you don't find that EC2 in the services list, we have a search bar here. Just go to the search bar and search with the name called EC2. And even if you search with EC2, you'll see the same dashboard like this. Okay, you'll see the same dashboard like this. And I request all of you to go on mute because we'll get some disturbance. Okay. So now you see here, we have instances. Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you. For signing up to AWS, we need to use business or personal.
Please give the personal. If it is for the practicing purpose, usually we give personal only. But organization, Okay, organizations will go with the business account only. Okay, so if it is for a practicing purpose, if you want to learn AWS cloud, and if you want to use the free tier account, hope you understood what is free tier account. AWS is providing you the account for it is providing you the account for a free tier for few days for the first 3 months. Okay, so you can use it
Yeah,
for,
for me, for me, it's showing 12 months free tier offers.
yes,
I don't know,
actually,
like.
yeah. So let me tell you. So usually it will credit you some dollars. Okay, it will AWS will give you some dollars to you. It will credit some dollars to your account. So whichever is earlier. Suppose if you have used some services, if and all the dollars, if you all the dollars were used. Okay, suppose if you use any particular service, so they will be charging from the free dollars that are providing that are credited to your account. So once all those dollars are over, then you will be charged. Otherwise, it will be there. It will be there. You can use that free tier for the first 12 months. Got it, right? So they will be giving you some dollars. So whenever you create an account, some dollars will be credited to your account. So whenever you use any particular service, they will charge from those dollars. And once all the dollars are over, then you will be charged from, the bill will be generated for you and you will be asked to pay the bill. Okay,
Yeah, got it,
that's not
got it.
based on the free tier. So it will not be there for 12 months. Okay, it will not be there for the 12 months. Suppose if you are not using any of the services, you have just created an account and you have a very minimal use of this AWS account. Yes, it will be there for 12 months. You can use it for 12 months. If you are not using any of the services and the usage is less, it will be there for 12 months. Otherwise, it can be completed within a month also. If you use most of the services, it will be completed within a month also. And if you want to know about those particular things, like how actually I get the free tier and how many days I'll get the free tier, all those things we will be discussing in the billing sessions. Okay, we will be discussing while we discuss about AWS billing and all. We'll discuss there. Actually, once the account is created, how long we can use the account and what are all the services that are being provided for the being provided for free of cost. All those things we will see in the further discussions. Okay. Any questions? Any questions you have? I don't know who asked this question. Kaushik, I think.
Yeah, now everything is clear right now. Thank you.
Okay. So we are just trying to focus. We are now focusing on only creating a Linux server. Okay. If you have any questions related to the AWS, let's start this later. Okay. Anyhow, we'll be having a detailed sessions on AWS, right? We will be starting AWS and we'll be discussing each and every service in detail. So that time we will discuss. But for now, I just log into the AWS cloud and we are going to use a particular service called EC2. Okay. So I'm just going for a service called EC2 here. What is the use of this service? Okay, let's understand what is the main use of this particular service. So this EC2 service will provide you the instances. Suppose if you want any instance, if you want any machine, you say there are different terminologies that I'm using: instance, machine, server. There are different terminologies that we are using, but according to the AWS, we will be using the terminology called instances. As I told you, I need a Linux server now. What is the purpose of Linux server? For now, I need a Linux server to practice some Linux commands. So if I want to practice Linux commands, the only way is there are different ways. Okay, there are different ways where I can get the Linux operating system. In my machine itself, I can go ahead and I can install Linux operating system. I can maintain dual operating systems. The other option is like you can go ahead and create an account in the AWS cloud. We can create Linux servers here. We can connect to the Linux server and we can practice our Linux commands. Okay. So for that reason, I'm just going to the EC2 dashboard. EC2, full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud. So usually most of the times, you see, nowadays, everyone is moving to the cloud, okay? All the, most of the companies, they are trying to move their infrastructure to the cloud. If they have any servers in their on-premises, if there are any servers maintaining in their on-prem, so they are trying to move those servers into the, they are trying to migrate those servers into the cloud. Of course, it might be an AWS cloud, Azure, or Google cloud, but almost all the, in all the projects, they are trying to move their infrastructure to the to the cloud only. Okay, not particularly to the AWS, I can say. So it can be like AWS, Azure, Google. All these are the leading cloud providers today, right? That's the reason why they choose some cloud platform and they'll be moving their infrastructure to the cloud. So if they have a server in the on-prem, in their on-prem, and if they want to migrate those servers to the cloud, so what is the service where they are going to create servers? This is the place. Okay, this is the service. In AWS, they'll go to the, it's easy to dashboard. They'll click on instances. Instances are nothing but servers, machines, whatever you call it. But according to AWS terminology, we call them as instances. So how to create a server? You see, we have few options here. Launch instance. Just click on launch instance. And the very first option that we will be providing is like, we just wanted to provide some name. Okay, I just want a Linux server. That's the reason why I'm selecting Linux server. This is just providing a name. Okay, the very first thing that I'm doing is I'm just providing a name to my server by launching the instance. So what launching an instance, like it consists of few steps. Okay, it consists of few steps. Like we need to select the operating system. We need to select the storage part. Okay, so even you see in the real time also, suppose we are going to purchase any of the server, if we are going to purchase any of the server, definitely what happens, we will be looking after what is the RAM. So usually what are the basic things we see? Processor. The main thing that we will look after is processor. Okay, otherwise we can say that it is CPU. Okay, CPU, RAM, and the other thing that we see is storage. Okay, the other thing that we see is storage. Okay, CPU, RAM, and storage, all these things that we will be taking care of. Okay, so in the same way, and one more thing is like operating system, OS. Okay, we also needs to look. We will also look after the operating system that we require. Okay, whether we need Windows operating system or Linux, that thing also we will be taking care of. So in the same way, here also in cloud also, we are just providing the name. Okay, the very first step is that we are providing a name, and you see the second step here. You need to select some operating system image. You need to select some operating system. What is the OS? Here you see we have some list of images, OS images. Okay, we have different flavors of images here. We have different flavors of Linux operating systems. We have Windows operating system. We have Red Hat Linux, SUSE Linux. You see, Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, Mac OS, Red Hat, SUSE Linux. All these are the various flavors of Linux operating system. Whichever you want, you can choose. And there is an Windows operating system also. So what is this one? This is not, this is actually called as an image, AMI, Amazon Machine Image. So with this image only, okay, with this image only, we'll get the operating system. You see, I'm going to select Amazon Linux Machine Image. Okay, so if I select the image, it is clearly showing the details here. This is an Amazon Linux Machine Image, and the version also, it was launched in 2023, something around. Amazon Linux 2023. This is the version number. Okay, so you can select some many other different versions also. Red Hat. Go to the Red Hat, and you see the Red Hat. There is a different version. You can see a Red Hat Linux version 9, something around. So what I'm doing is, for now, we will understand all these things in detail whenever we come to the AWS cloud. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm just selecting Amazon Linux operating system. Okay, I'm selecting Amazon Linux operating system, coming down. Now it is asking, so operating system is selected. what we selected now is operating system. Okay, operating system is selected. And we need to select the instance type. The next step is we need to select the instance type. What is the instance type? So this instance type, once we select the instance type, we will get two things. Can you see here? We will get two things. One is CPU, other one is RAM. So we will be getting CPU and RAM based on this selection. Once we select T2.micro, we will be getting CPU as well as random access memory. And there are different categories of instances here, T2.micro, T2.medium, T2.large. Okay. So there are various categories. So based on the size you require, based on the machine based on the requirement you have. Suppose if you want more capacity, if you want some high capacity, definitely this one CPU, 1 GB RAM is not at all sufficient. We should go for some different configuration like the large T2X large. Okay, you should go for the different kind of configuration. But for now, I'm going with T2.micro. For now, I'm going with.
Hey, sorry to disturb you in middle. I don't know why it's not showing T2 for me. It's showing only T3.
Maybe you can use this drop down and see if you can search like T2.
Yeah. So the first option on the
Okay.
top, which is showing is T3 Nano, T3 Micro, T3 Small. So I'm only getting T3.
It will show you. It will show you all the options, but based on the operating system, what is the operating system image you have selected here? What is
I
the
have
image?
selected Amazon Linux
You
AWS
selected
only.
Amazon Linux, but here is it showing like free tier eligible?
Yeah, it's showing free tier eligible. But when you go down and when you select the instance type, so
Okay,
when I click that drop down over there, and I saw only T3 Nano, T3 Micro, T3 Small,
okay.
and it's not showing T2.
Can
So
you search here by just going into the drop down? Can you search like T2 dot micro so that if you can able to see,
T2 dot micro.
just search with T2
No,
dot micro and
no, no, it's not coming. So it's just showing me when I search, it's just showing me T3 dot micro.
only T3 dot micro.
Yeah, it's showing for me. So free tier eligible is only for T3 dot micro.
Can you share your screen if you don't mind?
So actually, I was in the two subnet systems. So
Okay, no problem.
the meeting is in
No
one.
problem. Yeah, actually, usually this is common for everyone actually. Once we select the Amazon Linux, if we are in the free tier account, usually it has to show the instance type like T2.micro or something. But we need to see like why it is not displaying all the categories for you. Okay. So we'll check and
Yeah,
let you know. Okay.
only showing T3. Yeah,
Okay. So usually when we go
maybe
to the drop down, it has to show the list of instances for everyone. And
maybe the location is different for
you
me.
see
Like
here, what is the in which region you are? Are you in the Mumbai region? Here you see the
uh,
list of region,
uh
right? In which region you are?
yeah, I was in the Europe. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
in the
that's
Europe.
okay. Maybe that is the reason. Okay, in that region, only those category of instances were available. Okay, that's the reason why.
So
Yeah.
I need to select
Yes,
Asia.
it's not mandatory to select Mumbai region and to create your infrastructure in Mumbai only. It is up to you. You can create your infrastructure in any of the regions. You can
Mm-hmm.
create your infrastructure in any of the regions. Usually, the thing is like based on the client requirement. Suppose if the client asks us, suppose if you for the project, if your client is very nearer to the Mumbai region, okay, and if you're based on the customers actually, not client. So if the customers are very nearer to the Mumbai region, and if the customers are US customers, so it's better to create our infrastructure in US. If the customers are most of the customers are from London, it's better to create infrastructure in the London region. Got it right? So that's how we create
Yeah.
infrastructure and we set up the infrastructure. So for practicing purpose, like if you want to practice, you can select any one of the region and you can create your infra in any of the region and you can practice. That's not any okay. But generally speaking, so usually how we create the servers and all is based on the majority of the customers. Suppose if I am using Flipkart, Amazon.com, okay? If I am using Amazon.com. So for
Mhm.
Amazon, actually, my most of the customers are from, there are customers from US as well as India. Let's take an example, okay? For Amazon, there are customers from US as well as India. So what we will do is, so we will set up infrastructure. We will create servers. We will be setting up one server in the US region, and we will also be setting up few servers in India also. In India, we have some regions like Mumbai, Hyderabad and all, right? So we will set up our infrastructure in India so that whenever the user sends a request to access the website or to access the application, so those requests will be diverted to the very nearest infra actually. Okay,
Oh,
that's how actually the time, yeah, even latency will also be reduced. Okay, otherwise, if an Indian customer tries to access the server which is present in US, maybe there will be some latency. Okay, latency in the sense there will be some delay in the accessing. So most of the time they will create infrastructure like that. I'm just telling an example. Okay, any questions you have, Kaushik?
no, no.
Yeah. So that is the reason why maybe you are in a different region. That's the reason why you are not able to see this. Okay, T2.micro, and try to change it to the Mumbai region, and you can see this T2.micro. And what I'm trying to say is for T2.micro, it will be like only one CPU and 1 GB RAM. Okay, so if you wanted to understand like what is one CPU, okay, what is one CPU and what is this 1 GB RAM? Anyhow, we understood, right? 1 GB RAM equal to 1 GB is equal to 1024 MB. Okay, 1 GB is equal to 1024 MB. Usually 1 GB RAM is very, very less. We know that. Even today, in our mobiles itself, we are using we are using the RAM capacity as some 16 GB, 32 GB like that. Okay, 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB like. So 1 GB RAM is very, very small for the servers and all. So, but what is one CPU? Okay, one CPU is nothing but so we will discuss about like what is one CPU, what is two CPUs and all. Okay, no worries. But one CPU is very small thing which is not at all sufficient for 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Uh, we can't. I can't hear your voice.
You are unmuted.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that. So yeah, we were discussing about this T2.micro, T2.medium, all those things, right? So you can see here T2.micro, we are getting only one CPU and 1 GB RAM. And for T2.small, we are getting one CPU and 2 GB RAM. So whichever is your requirement. Suppose if you need if you need only one CPU and 2 GB RAM, you can go with T2.small. If you want two CPUs and 4 GB RAM, based on our requirement, okay? Based on the requirement, based on the capacity of the server we require, we'll go for T2.medium, all those things, okay? Anyhow, we will be discussing all these things in the further discussions whenever we particularly talk about AWS service in the AWS cloud, okay, AWS sessions. Okay, let's talk about the next thing, key pair. We need a key pair here. We need to create a key pair. So the purpose of this key pair is we wanted to connect to this instance usually. Okay, once after creating this server, if I want to connect to this server from my local machine, if I want to securely connect to the server from my local machine, definitely I need a key pair. It is nothing but it's like a secret. Okay, it's like a secret. It's like a key pair like we use to connect to the server. Okay, we are launching the server in the AWS cloud. Then how we are going to connect to this server securely? If I want to connect to this server securely, definitely I need this key pair. So how actually the key pair looks like? Usually we can go ahead and create a new key pair. Just give like, you can provide any name. I'm just providing some name like AWS 29 or DevOps 29, something. Okay, some meaningful name I'm giving. It is not like, it is up to you. Okay, it is up to you, whatever the name that you wanted to provide. I'm just providing the name like DevOps 29 something. So for a meaningful purpose, okay, I'm just giving the meaningful name. KP stands for key pair. To understand that this is a key pair, I'm just giving KP. So here we have different formats. Okay, these are the different algorithms actually. These are the security algorithms like encryption algorithms. So we have two different types of encryption algorithms here. We have one encryption algorithm called RSA, and we have another encryption algorithm called ED25519. So usually we'll go with RSA. If you want to go with ED255, yes, these are the two different types of algorithms that works. Okay, we can select any of the algorithm. You know, right? What is encryption and all? Encryption in the sense like the key will be encrypted. Whatever the key that we are downloaded, that key will be converted to some encrypted format for the security purposes. Okay. So that's the reason why we are just trying to download a key pair, and usually in the key pair also we have two different formats. The key pair that we are downloading will be in two different formats. One is PEM, the other one is PPK. The full form of PEM is privacy enhanced mail, privacy enhanced mail, and the other one is putty private key. So usually we can connect to the server by using different terminals. We can connect to the server by using git bash. We can connect to the server by using putty. Okay, different terminals, different ways are there for connecting to the server from our local machines. Suppose if I want to connect by using putty, I'll download the private key. I will download this key pair in this format, in the PPK format. Okay. If I want to connect to the server by using putty, I'll select this PPK. Otherwise, if I want to connect by using some different terminals like git bash, okay, if I want to connect by using a different thing like git bash, I'll go for this dot term. Okay. So that's it. I'm just going ahead and create a new key pair. So once you click on create a new key pair, a key pair will be downloaded. A key pair will be downloaded. Coming down, for now, we are not going through any of the network settings. We are not going through any of the network settings. We will be discussing all these network things and all in the AWS
Yeah, but
session.
you have selected the medium for the T2.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Usually, to avoid the billing and all, we will go for free tier eligible. You see here, I told you, right? So once you create an account, you will be eligible for free tier for few days. Like as you said, you can see for the first 12 months, they will provide you the free tier. So only these services you can use for the first 12 months. Can you see? T2.micro. It is eligible for what? Free tier. You can use this. You can use this particular one. So whenever we use this T2.micro, they will not charge anything. For the first 12 months, you can use this machine. But the capacity of this machine will be very less. Only one CPU and 1 GB RAM. If you want to practice something, yes, you can go ahead and you can do it. That's how. So I'm coming down and I'm not talking about the network settings for now. Okay. So we'll discuss this later. And here actually you can see the configuration storage. Okay. The storage part I'm talking about, the storage is by default 8 GB storage is there. If you want to increase, you can increase it. As I told you, usually whenever we purchase, we talk about CPU, RAM and storage, right? Hard disk. So it is similar to our hard disk. By default, it is showing that you will get some 8 GB. So since we are the free tier eligible customers, we can get up to 30 GB of this EBS. Okay, this service is called EBS. Okay, where it is providing the storage and all. So the volumes we are calling them as EBS volumes, elastic block storage. EBS stands for elastic block storage. So by default 8 GB storage I will get. I'm going ahead and creating a server. For now, I'm focusing on creating a server, not discussing all the details related to the EC2. Why? Because we have a separate sessions for the AWS cloud. There we will discuss each and everything clearly. So I've launched a server. I have created a server. Once I create a server, you can see the instances. You can go to the instances running, and you see here the instance is created and the instance came into the running state also. Okay. The instance is in the running state here. You can see the instance is in the running state, and I just wanted to connect. If I want to connect to this Linux server, I'll select the Linux server. I'll just click on connect button. Okay, slowly coming down. You see here, you will find an option called, you see, whenever you use this connect option, let's show you once again. I'm going to the EC2 instances. I have one instance running here. Select the instance, click on connect button. And here we have 4 options: EC2 instance, connect, session manager, session client, all these things. Select the first one, EC2 instance connect, come down, click on connect. So that's it. You will be connecting to the server. Okay, you'll be connecting to the Linux server. Here I got connected to the Linux server, and here I can practice some Linux commands, like I'm just executing some command like ls. I'm creating an empty file called file1, and to see the list of files, I'm giving ls command. So once I connected to the server, I can practice some Linux commands. We'll be discussing about all the Linux commands and all in the next session. We'll start the basic Linux commands and how we use the shell scripting. Okay, what is shell scripting and how we are going to use the shell scripting. So everything we'll be discussing in the further section. Okay, next session will be on the Linux commands, and after that we will talk about shell scripting. After that, we'll go for the tools like GitHub, Maven, Jenkins, all those things. So for today, I think I wanted to close this at least 5 minutes before. Okay, so there is another session. They are going to use the same Zoom ID. So for that reason, I would like to close this session now before 5 minutes. Any questions you have? I'll share the recording in the uh, WhatsApp group. Please follow that. Please go through that recording if you have any questions. And now, still, if you have any questions, we can discuss.
How to go back from here? So just cross.
From here, this
Yeah.
is the, we got connected here, right? So if you want to close this, just you can give like yeah. So if you want to log out, see, let me show you. I'm just here, right? I got connected to the terminal, right? I got connected to the terminal, and it got stuck actually. When you click on exit, usually it will be closed. Okay. You just provide exit command so that you will be closed. No need to much of it. So usually if we just connected to this by using the browser option. There are different ways to connect to this server. Okay. If you are not able to come out of this, you can just close here the browser option we have here. You can close this terminal. That's it. And if you want to connect once again, you can go to the connect option. You can see here the connect button. Then you can connect once again. Okay. You can simply close the terminal that we have opened. Got it?
And also so how to stop the instant state running to stop.
Yeah, all those things will be discussed in the AWS sessions. Okay, if you want to stop the instance, just select the instance, go to the instance state, just stop the instance. We have few options here: stopping the instance, rebooting the instance, terminating the instance, all these things. So there are different meanings actually. Rebooting in the sense like restarting. Meaning of reboot is restart. If you want to stop the instance for some time, you can stop it. If you want to terminate, you can terminate it. Deleting the instance. Okay. To delete, see, I'm deleting the instance. I just wanted to click on terminate. Just click on delete. That's it. Successfully terminate. After some time, usually you'll see the status here. You'll see the status here. You can, the instance state will be like shutting down. The instance state will goes to the shutting down. Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss in the next session. So, for today, I wanted to close this. Any questions you have, we'll discuss in the later sessions. So, but whatever the questions that related to this EC2, all these things, they come under AWS cloud. Okay. For now, I am just trying to create a server to connect to practice some Linux commands. That's the reason why we are going through this AWS cloud. Otherwise, AWS is having a separate sessions. Once we close all the DevOps tools, once the DevOps tool discussion is over, we will start AWS cloud, and there we will discuss each and everything in detail. Thank you all. Any questions?
We will be practicing the Linux commands in AWS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the main purpose, like the main agenda that we created this Linux server is to connect to this and to practice some Linux commands. That's it. Okay. Thank you all. I'm going to close this.